Okay, so thank you for joining with the introductory session for February 2024 strategic level case study. So I'll give a brief about the strategic level case study and then we can align what we should be doing. Then we'll do some work today, of course, and then we can plan what we should be doing. Strategic level case study exam paper is a simple, straightforward paper. It is not complicated. SEMA genuinely wants you to pass this paper. That's the intentions of SEMA. The questions are going to be very, very practical. Questions are absolutely practical questions based on a pre-scene given to us. As long as we understand the pre-scene, as long as we understand the industry, how the industry works, on the exam day, you will be able to see very practical questions. As long as you manage those practical questions, you can easily pass this paper. Of course, people do fail. Why do people fail? Is because we try to complicate this simple paper. Examiner is giving you a very practical question, expecting a very practical answer. But sometimes we give absolutely theoretical answers. Examiner will hate it. This is a strategic level case study. Your theory knowledge is not a concern for us. We are not worried how well you know the theories. We are absolutely not worried how well you know the theories. We're only worried about whether you can manage a very practical situation. So that's what we got to be aligned with. Siemens given a pre-scene. Some of you all may have seen the pre-scene, some of you all may have not. In our course, there are 10 steps available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 steps available. First two steps are for us to get a good understanding on the pre-scene. So first two steps are called KYP and KYI. First two steps are called KYP and KYI. KYP is know your pre-scene. KYP is know your pre-scene. KYI is know your industry. Because unless you know the industry, you can't get to know the company very well. Any company will have to follow some trends in the industry. How the industry behave will have an impact on you. So you can't forget about the industry. Therefore, we learn about the KYP, know your pre-scene, KYI, know your industry, together at the beginning. That is how we start the work. That is how we start. Those are the first two steps of our course. Third step is called GR. Fourth step is called DD. Fourth step is called DD. GR stand for ground rules. GR stand for ground rules. So what do you mean by ground rules? Ground rules means what are the basic rules you need to follow on the exam. Some of those rules are coming from SEMA. As an example, on the exam day, there are 3 different sections available. It's entirely an online paper. It's entirely an online paper. There are 3 different sections available, which means you get 3 different emails from your boss and you got to respond to those 3 emails. Email from the boss, where you get many emails from your boss on the exam in the real world, right? And you got to reply to those emails, otherwise the boss will be unhappy. So email from the boss is the question paper. The answer that you are going to give to the email, the reply that you are going to give to the email is your answer. So you get 3 different emails. Each email you have 1 hour to respond. Each email you have 1 hour to respond. So 3 different emails means 3 hours. 3 different emails means 3 hours. So one of the ground rules is first email you have 1 hour. And if you complete all the work in 40 minutes time, you have 20 more minutes left. And then you try to add a little bit more value to each question, you might take another 20 minutes. Sorry, another 10 minutes. Still you have 10 minutes left. That 10 minutes, You can't carry forward to the section number 2. You can't carry forward to the second email. And you can't come back to the first email and use the balance 10 minutes. You got to use it at a stretch. You got to use it continuously for 1 hour and finish. So therefore, idea is you can't use that time. That's a ground rule available. That's a ground rule coming from the SEMA. So first one we do KYP, then we do KYI. Third one is ground rule. Those are the ground rules that are coming from SEMA. But Nanaska, myself, and our team will give you a lot of ground rules as well. How? How do we give you the ground rules? Because we talk to the students continuously, those who get a very high mark, those who do not get a very high mark. So we know what a student should be doing on the exam day or not. We know what a student should be doing on the exam day or not. Those guidelines are not coming from SEMA, but we know them. As an example, SEMA will tell you no direct marks if you mention industry examples. SEMA will very clearly tell you no direct marks if you mention industry examples. Why SEMA is saying that? Because up to 2010, you can mention up to 5 different industry examples and get 5 marks. So in SEMA history, there was time where you can mention industry example. Each industry example that you mention, you get a mark up to 5. So that system was there, which SEMA removed it. Therefore, SEMA will officially now tell you industry examples, no direct marks. However, when we talk to markers, when we get a feeling about what the behavior of a student who get a very high mark, those answers always had some industry examples mentioned. Therefore, we advise the people to write down some industry examples on the exam. That is a ground rule coming from us. So in our course, there are 10 steps available. First one is KYP, know your precinct. Second one is KYI, know your industry. Third one is ground rules. I'm giving you examples of the ground rules now. One of the ground rules is try to mention industry examples. Fourth step is called DD, which is the deep dive. What do you mean by the deep dive? Deep dive is an in-depth analysis of the precinct. Deep dive is an in-depth analysis of the precinct, right? This fifth stage is called co-activities. There are 5 co-activities available. That is our stage number 5. We call it co-activities. All the questions on the exam day will be based on these 5 co-activities. All the questions on the exam day will be based on these 5 co-activities. So we have 10 steps in our course. These are the first 5 steps. All right. So far, do you hear me well? Do you understand me well? Is things clear? Just say yes if yes. And if you need to clarify anything, you can ask now. So far is all good? Is all good so far? If you need to ask anything, you could ask now. Now, let's look at what this KYP is all about. For the February 2024, let's look at what this KYP is all about. Here we go with the KYP. For Feb 2024. KYP. And these are the products that we manufacture. Actually, we manufacture products in 2 different countries. Our own country, Tesla, and we manufacture the products in Darland as well. Tesla and Darland both. We manufacture products in 2 different countries, Tesla and Darland. And we manufacture carousels. You have seen carousels, right? Whenever you go to an airport, You will very clearly see the carousels available. After you get in from the flight, when you wait for the bags, your bags will come in this carousel. So these are products that we manufacture. Of course, we are not selling it for the airports. We are selling it for inventory management. We are selling it for the physical stores of the company. Have you seen these robots, mobile robots? They're very interesting items, right? You know how they work, right? So you have a large store, like what? Look at the DHL warehouse in Dubai. If you look at the DHL warehouse in Dubai, whenever you need to bring a package, a person can't go. We give instructions for this small mobile robo. We tell him to bring the items from D25. When you press D25, it will go to D25, take the item and come to us. So these are mobile robots available. So what I'm trying to say is we manufacture things like these for which industry? We manufacture things like these for the stores inventory management. So what kind of a company are we? Ah, we are in the industry of warehouse solutions. We are in the industry of warehouse solutions. So if you are running a warehouse, we provide all the solutions for your warehouse. We are in the business of warehouse solutions. We are in the business of warehouse solutions. Of course, we are not a small company at all. We are not a small company at all. Why do I say that? Because we are a public listed company. We are a quoted company. Our shares are listed in the stock exchange. When your shares are listed in the stock exchange, life is very different for you. In real world, I work as a CEO of a public listed company. In the real world, I work as a CEO of a public listed company. My life is very different because I am a CEO of a public listed company. Things that I need to do are very different since I am CEO of a public listed company. I will share my experience with you as we go on. Share price has a huge impact on you. So we are a public listed company. Our company name in this case study is a company called RoboBrace. Is a company called RoboBrace. We use a lot of robotic things. We use a lot of automations. That is our vision as well. We would like to automate the warehouse solutions. That is our vision. So which industry are we in? We are a warehouse solution providing company. We are a warehouse solution providing company. So if I try to go into further details, our operations and what is our product range? Our operations is develop and install systems required to and retrieve inventory. We give solutions for warehouse companies. If you're running a warehouse, come to us. We will design your warehouse. We'll give you equipments that you need. What are the products that we sell? We sell forklift to carry items in the stores. We give you hand truck, right? We give you shelves to store the items. We give you carousels, what I showed you at the airport. We give you mobile robots, which will automate it, which is automated. So they will take your items and go and put to the place that you want them to be put in. So I mean, we are the people who will automate your warehouse, and we are not. We are in test learn. Yes, I agree. We are in test learn, but we are a global company. Even though we are in test learn, we sell the products all over. Of course, we manufacture in two different countries. We have two different manufacturing facilities, one in Tesla and one in Darlan. So why did we go to Darlan? We went to Darlan because the cost is less there. We went to Darlan because the cost is less there. Right? In Darlan, we manufacture very basic products only. Like mobile robots, robotic equipments, we don't manufacture in Darlan. Tesla is a developed country. Darlan is a very basic country. Cost of manufacturing is less. That is why we went there. See the product difference? See the product difference? What do we manufacture in Darlan? In Darlan, we manufacture mobile trucks, forklift, shelves. So in Darlan, we manufacture very, very basic products. In Darlan, we manufacture very, very basic products, right? In Darlan, we manufacture very, very basic products. So we manufacture in Darlan and we manufacture in Teslan. Teslan is our country where we sell. We have 12,000 people. Oh my gosh. So this is not a small operation at all. We have 12,000 production staff in both factories, 900 staff in research development, 800 in business advisory role. So business advisory role is very interesting. I mean, they are the, if you want to develop your stores, we send you a consultant. We'll advise you how to set up your stores. Of course, we recommend you to buy our products. So we are a warehouse automation company. We are a very interesting company. We sell the warehouse automated products. And we are very interesting company because we help you to save a lot of money. We will automate entire your warehouse operation. We'll automate your entire warehouse operation and we are making a decent money. We have a net profit margin of 12%. Gearing, of course, is to the higher side. We have 49% gearing. We have 49% gearing. Gearing is to the higher side, 49% gearing. We have a very nice net profit margin of 12.6%. Right? So this is what our company is all about. Now, the beauty of the KYP, my dear friends, is when you go through the KYP, you understand the pre-scene very well. When you go through the KYP, you will understand the pre-scene very well. You understand what the company does, how the company works. You understand what do we do, right? So this is a carousel. This is a carousel in the warehouse inversion, not an airport carousel. This is a carousel in the warehouse inversion, right? So we are a very nice, good company who would like to automate your warehouses, right? So that is what we do. Uh, so now what I'm trying to tell you is, first of all, we go through this KYP. When you go through the KYP, you understand a lot of details about this organization. However, you can't go through the KYP as if you read a newspaper. You can't. Because SEMA has very clearly told you, SEMA has very clearly told you there will be 5 core activities on the exam. SEMA has very clearly told you there will be 5 core activities on the exam. What are those 5 core activities? SEMA has told you all the questions on the exam day will come from 5 core activities. What do you mean by that? That means SEMA is saying a professionally qualified person like you, when you work for a real world company, there are work that you usually do as a senior person. SEMA has done a research all over the world to see what kind of work will you actually do. And SEMA has realized there could be 5 areas where your work can be summarized into. Those 5 areas have been named as core activities, and the exam paper consists of those 5 areas as well. So SEMA is saying, based on the research that they have done, these are the 5 things you will be doing in the real world. When you work in the real world as a senior finance professional, senior marketing professional, senior sales professional, senior production professional, senior banker, these are the 5 things that you do. So SEMA is saying, therefore, exam paper also will cover these 5 things A, B, C, D, E. Therefore, SEMA is saying all the exam questions will come from co-activity A, B, C, D, E, and SEMA is so serious about it. Therefore, SEMA is saying each section will have a equal weightage across. That means each of these section minimum marks will be 15%, maximum marks will be 25%. So all these areas will be tested, minimum for 15%. If examiner likes some areas, examiner can increase the weightage. As an example, examiner is a very risky examiner. Examiner like the risk. Examiner would like to identify the risk and take actions to mitigate the risk. Examiner is a risky examiner. Examiner likes the risk. Examiner can give more questions from this area because examiner has been in the risk paper before. Or examiner has been a E3 person, business strategy person. So if examiner is a business strategy person, examiner can give more questions. But examiner can give more questions from any of the areas, but the maximum that examiner can go is only up to 25%. So you can't read the pre-scene like you read a newspaper. You got to read the pre-scene by looking at these five core activities. By looking at these five core activities. But when you read the heading of the activity, it might not mean anything. When you read the heading of the activity, it might not mean anything. Now, develop business strategy. No, I think that's clear to some extent. I think it's clear to some extent. However, examiner has developed four sub areas of what do you mean by developing business strategy. Examiners develop four sub areas of what do you mean by developing business strategy. So you are clearer. You are clearer. And you know, developing business strategy, there will be minimum of 15% of the questions, maximum of 25% of the questions. Examiner is fully, you are fully aware. There will be minimum of 15% of the question, maximum of 25%. So you need to go through what you mean by co-activity A. Here you have co-activity A. Here you have co-activity A. Examiner has divided what you mean by co-activity A into four different categories. Examiner is saying, can you evaluate strategic options? Can you recommend strategic decisions? Can you evaluate this acquisition is a good thing or bad thing? That is what you mean by the business strategy. What do you mean by developing business strategy? Developing business strategy is a co-activity A. That is divided, that co-activity A is divided into, that co-activity A is divided into four areas. The first three areas we will talk about. Can you evaluate strategic options? Can you recommend one strategic option? Can you evaluate an acquisition? Or you are going to sell part of the company? Can you evaluate whether it's a good idea? That is what developing business strategy is. So you are very clear what kind of questions will come. You are very clear what kind of questions will come. If you play the game right, you can easily get a very decent mark. If you play the game right, you can get a very decent mark and pass this paper. Right? Just give me 1 second. Right? So therefore you are very clear what do you mean by co-activity A. You are very, very clear what you mean by co-activity A. Right? So now you can't read the pre-scene like you read a newspaper. You need to read the pre-scene by looking at what the co-activities are. So I will prove that to you in 5 minutes. But look at one more co-activity. Look at co-activity C, recommending financing strategies. Look at co-activity D, Let's look at co-activity C and D together. C is recommending financing strategies. D is evaluate and mitigate risk. So you should always ask, what do you mean by recommending? What do you mean by financing strategy? Financing strategy is simple. How do we source finance? What is your dividend policy? How do you value a business? How do you value a business? So financing strategy is co-activity C. That is very, very easy. That include only three things. How do we finance? What is your dividend policy? How do you value a business? Business valuation models. How do you apply business valuation models to a particular company? Right? So this is what the the five co-activities are. And the co-activity D is about the risk. So whenever you look at the pre-scene, you got to look at the pre-scene from the angle of the co-activities. You look at the pre-scene from the angle of the co-activities. So you should look at this one slide of the pre-scene from the angle of co-activities. From the angle of co-activities. Right? You can't just read it entirely independently. You can't just read it entirely independently. Okay. So I've been talking for almost 30 minutes. Uh, before I jump into the next area, before I jump into the next level of discussion that we want to have, before I jump into the next discussion that we want to have, uh, any questions? Or is everything clear? Any questions? Or is everything clear? If everything is clear so far, can you please tell me clear, 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 clear? If everything is clear so far, can you please tell me clear, clear, clear? Okay. Okay. So now you have been listening for 30 minutes. You have been listening for 30 minutes, right? Take a little relaxed time. Take a little relaxed time. So then take a little relaxed time. So it'll be little relaxed. Drink some water. Drink some water. After 30 minutes, you should take a little relaxed time. Drink some water. No, I'm serious. You should drink some water. Now let's look at, now read this page again. The same page. Read this page again. Think from co-activity A, B, co-activity A, developing business strategy, co-activity C, financing strategies, co-activity D, risk management. Think about, keep those co-activities in your mind. Read this page again. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. Read this page again, keeping the co-activities in your mind. Start reading now. You have 5 minutes to do that. You have 5 minutes to do that. Read this page again, keeping the co-activities in your mind. the same slide. Having those co-activities in your mind. So as today is the first day, I'm not trying to go into too much of the work because we are trying to introduce only what we are going to do with you. But I want to I want you to start some work because otherwise this week is very important for you. This week is very important for you. So I want you to start. But we have enough time. Exams are in last week of Feb means we have enough and more time. Uh, but now let me give you update. Okay, what kind of a company we are? Name of the company is RoboBrace. Okay, RoboBrace. Okay, we are a quoted company. That means we are a public listed company. My gosh, co-activity D, risk. When you are a public company, if you have a reputational issue, when we are a public listed company, if you have a reputational issue, your share price will come down drastically. Your share price will come down drastically. Your share price will come down drastically. You will have to protect your reputation more than the profits. You will have to protect your reputation more than the profits because you are a public listed company. Oh, whenever you see this word, you remember co-activity D. Co-activity D will be applicable. Okay, where are we? We are in Tesla, and we have a fact. We do the warehouse solutions, and we develop products like what? We develop carousels, mobile robots. We design products like hand trucks, shells, forklift. Okay, but I don't know why. I mean, why don't you sell your carousels to the airports? Why don't you sell your carousels to the airport? Mm, it's a new customer base. Airports are very powerful companies, but they need many carousels. Why don't you sell it? New business strategy. That comes from co-activity A. That comes from co-activity A. That comes from co-activity A. We have two production factories. Oh my gosh. Where are they? They are in Testland and Darlan. Why did we go to Darlan? Because their labor is cheap. Because their labor is cheap. But because you are in Darlan, you have a foreign exchange risk. Co-activity D. You have foreign exchange risk co-activity D. And you decide to close down your operations in Darlan, take everything back to Tesla. Co-activity C. How do we finance? Because you need to put up a new factory. You need to put up a new factory. Oh, what kind of business are we in? We are in the warehouse solution business. We are in the warehouse solution business. So, who are having large warehouses? Large warehouses who are having large warehouses. So, our customers will be large manufacturing companies. Those who need to keep large warehouses for the raw material. Those who need to keep large warehouses for finished good. They are our customers. DHL can be our customer. Alibaba.com can be our customer. Why? They have large warehouses to manage. So if the international trade is going to come down, my gosh, there will be a direct impact for my business. If the international trade is going to come down, there will be a direct impact for my business. Co-activity D, how do you manage the risk? And why don't you go and sell in so many countries? Why don't you go and sell your products to the airports? Why don't you go and sell products outside the warehouse management companies? What they are, I don't know. Airport is one example that I can think about. Your gear in is already 48%. So if you want to build up a new factory to manufacture carousels for the airports, Can you borrow more money? It'll be difficult. It'll be difficult. So this is how you should look at the pre-scene in the eyes of co-activities. I don't know whether you understood it. So let me repeat it again. Let me repeat it. You don't need to repeat again. No, you can repeat once. No, please listen to me. You should look at the pre-scene through the co-activities. You should look at the pre-scene through the co-activities. Then only you can pass the exam paper. For you to pass the exam paper, you got to look at the pre-scene through the co-activities. Then only you are completely prepared to manage the exam paper on the exam. Are you clear on that point? 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 Okay. So now what we need to do is to look at those first five steps. There are 10 steps in total. The first five steps are KYP, KYI, ground rules, deep dive, core activities. But there are five more. What are they? There are five more. Six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Sixth one is something very interesting for everyone. Sixth one is what we call refresh theory. That is where I will refresh you E3, P3, and F3 knowledge of yours. Those who are coming through the FLP path, they would love that session. Those who are coming from the FLP path, they will love that session. Those who are coming directly to the strategic level case study, they will love this E3, P3, F3. I will go through all the theories that you need to know. I myself will review. You don't need to read any books before. You don't need to be prepared. I will go through that. That is what you call section number 6. Section number seven is called practice. Section number 7 is called practice. What do you mean by practice? It's practice. What do you mean? I'll give you one mock paper and answer for you to practice what kind of question comes on the exam day. But section number 8 is very critical. We call it reality. Reality is you do from mock number 2 to mock number 8. Mock number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those mocks you can do on the exam engine. So you do rehearsal of what the reality looks like. You practice many more mocks before you go for the exams in last week of February 2024. That is what you call reality. Section number 9 is mix of various things. Section number 9 has various different things available. Section number 9 has possible issues, what will come for the exam, power mock, F3 mock, and section number 10 is called one-to-one support, where, where we will tell you what are the areas that you need to concentrate on. What are the areas that you need to concentrate on? So these are the 10 steps that we are going to do with you. These are the 10 steps that we are going to do with you. So section number 9 includes various things. PI, possible issues. PM, power mock. Power mock are what are the questions that can come from E3, P3, F3. F3 mock. What are the questions that can come from the F3 area only? So various things are in section number 9. Section number 10 is one-to-one support after you do a mock paper. Will help you personally what are the areas you need to improve, what are the areas you are reasonably okay. Right? So this is what you are going to do. Okay. So now I don't know whether you have been listening or not. So let's try to figure out whether you have been listening or not. I'm going to ask few questions. You need to answer in 5 seconds. I'm going to ask few questions. You need to answer the questions in 5 seconds. 1, two, three, four, five. You need to answer. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to answer those questions now? Okay. Okay. Which section of our studies, because we have 10 sections, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which section of ours cover the core activity? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Which one? Which one will cover the core activity? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Section number 5 will cover the core activity. Section number 5 will cover the core activity. Okay, very good. Next question. It will be nice to know what kind of questions come on the exam day. So therefore, we have a section called PI. PI stand for what? Possible issues. It's a nice document which include list of possible issues that will come on the exam day, and it covers about what the solutions are. Possible issues. Which section covers the possible issues? One, two, three. Oh my God. So you have been listening. You have been listening. Okay. Okay. Next question. We manufacture various different products. Technologically advanced products we manufacture in our country. What is the other country we manufacture basic product? What's the name of the other country where we manufacture basic product? One, two, three, four. Very good. I mean, this time you guys are very good. This time you guys seems to be very good. Okay. I mean, sometimes it is difficult to tell which industry you are in because it's very difficult. Sometimes industries are very broad. Can you please tell me what is the name of our industry in broader sense? What is the name of our industry in broader sense? In broader sense, what do you call our industry? One, two, three, four, five. Superb. Warehouse solutions. Warehouse solutions. Very good. Next question. What is our gear in? What is our gear in? One, two, three, four, five. My gosh. Superb. Our gear in is 48%. Okay. So you have been listening. You have been listening. Okay. Now, time for you. Please ask questions. Time for you. Please ask questions. Time for you. Please ask questions. Please ask questions. When does the first session start? So we are starting from the next week. Our admin team will advise you the time. We are starting from the next week. Today is only an introduction. I don't think we have a session today. You can talk to admin. I think the sessions are starting from next week. Yeah, the first day, which is the next week, we are discussing the pre-scene KYP in detail. So how many hours you need to spend on SCS? We expect you to work 1.5 hours every day and 1 day a week, little bit more time, which is usually Sunday. 1.5 hours every day. Maybe 1 day you can relax without doing any work. 1 to 1.5 hours work every day. 1 day a week more work because on that day you need to do a mock paper. So that preferably be a Sunday. But who cares, right? You have only 7 weeks to do the work. So in that 7 weeks, you need to allocate your time for this. Do you have a module where subscription is available for section 9 and 10? Nothing like that. We offer the full course, my dear. What is the best study plan for this week? Okay, I will tell you that. Okay, what we expect you to do is this till the next week before we start the first session. First of all, I'll tell you what I'm going to do in the first session. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in the first session. First session, I'm going to look at the KYP. I'm going to look at the KYP. Don't forget, we have a KYI. We do have a KYI, but I don't look at the KYI in detail. I'll just show you what does it look like, right? I'll just show you what does it look like, but I'm not going to do the KYI in detail, right? I'm not going to discuss the KYI in detail, but I'll tell you what does the KYI look like, right? I'll show you what does the KYI look like, right? Uh, how can I show it? So now, uh, so these are type of equipments. I mean, KYI has so much of details about the industry, right? KYI has so much of details about the industry. For you to learn about the industry, best thing is the KYI. So I just want to show you few slides from the KYI. But if you go to KYI, you will see what are the companies that are servicing some prominent players in the global material handling industry. And then you will get a lot of details about each of these companies. You get a lot of details about each of these companies. Now, Honeywell is a famous company in the industry, right? So KYI, I will not go into detail. But what I want to show you is, on the very first day, on the very first day, on the very first day, I want to introduce you to the pre-scene. I want to introduce you to the pre-scene, and I want to introduce you to mock number one itself. I want to introduce you to mock number one itself on the very first day, because then you will get a great idea of what kind of questions will be there on the exam day. Now look at a paper like this. Look at a paper like this. So as I told you, there will be three different sections on the exam day. Each section will be for 1 hour. And if you go to section number one, can you see what kind of questions comes? Do you think we should accept this proposal? What proposal? Look at the first part of the exam paper, so then you understand. I'm writing to you with the good news that we are approached by new supermarket chain called Majestic Mart. They came up with an offer that is new to us. So someone is giving you entirely new offer. Who is giving you this entirely new offer? A supermarket chain called Majestic Mart. What is the new offer that they are giving us? They are giving you a new offer in a long email. This is the attachment to the first email. I'll tell you what they're asking. They are saying, Majestic Mart is saying, look here, we want to buy all your equipments for all our countries. We have operations in so many countries. We want you to give equipment for 5 different countries, and we need you to manage our stores. What do you mean? We have never managed stores for anyone. Now, are you clear on that? We have never managed stores. We give you equipment for you to manage the stores. That's what we do. We give you equipment for you to manage the stores. We don't manage the stores. But this company is asking, can we manage their stores? That's something we have never done. We have manufactured equipment and given to them. But they are asking us to manage it. I mean, maybe we can do it, but we have not done it before. Maybe we can do it, but we have not done it before. Right? Now the question is, I mean, should we accept that offer or not? So which is core activity A? Business strategy. Business strategy. Right? So what I'm trying, so then when you go to section number 2, you have 2 more questions. So what I'm trying to do is, I want to introduce you to mock number 1 as well. I want you to introduce you to mock number 1 as well. So therefore, since I'm going to introduce you to the pre-scene and then to the mock number 1, I want you to register with us. So how to register with us? Simple, right? you need to send an email to info@nanaska.com. Then you can register with us. And you go to our LMS, which is a learning management system. Go to a section called KYP and read the KYP. That is what I want you to do. But of course, I'm going to teach you the KYP next week. But I want you to be ahead of the game, where you will read it and come. So life becomes easier for you, life becomes easier for all of us. And I will look at the pre-scene in a very practical way next week. I will look at the pre-scene in a very practical way next week. Right? So I want you to read it. Right? So that's the plan. My name is Channa Gunawardana. I am the CEO of one of the public listed companies. I'll share my experience as we go on. Exam paper is going to be absolutely a practical paper. I'm on the SEMA Global Council. I'm on the UK Council of SEMA. So I know what SEMA wants. SEMA doesn't want to build a finance professional. SEMA wants to build a better CEO. SEMA wants you to build a better CEO. So there are some questions. Can I answer them? Can there be three subsections for each main section? Yes. Yes. There can be. There can be. Course fees, Naushad, Harun, quickly write to info@nanaska.com. They will advise. I will just come and teach and ensure you pass. Please send an email. Okay. My name is Shanna Gunawardana. So I'm on the SEMA Global Council. So what SEMA wants you to do is to build a better CEO. We are not interested in your technical theory knowledge. We are trying to see whether you can resolve a practical problem. That's why when I teach, I share my experience of being a CEO. I think you need to work as a CEO of a public listed company to teach this subject. Unless you have actually worked as a CEO of a public listed company, you would not understand this subject because absolutely a practical paper. It's absolutely a practical paper. It's absolutely a practical paper, right? So next week, I'm going to start with the KYP. But all our lectures are online. They are recorded. They are kept in the LMS. So if you miss a lecture, you're not going to miss much. Only part that you're going to miss is the opportunity for you to ask questions. All the lectures and recorded are available. You can go through, you can ask the questions next week. But doing mocks is very important every week. First 2 weeks, you don't need to do the mocks. After that, every week you need to do at least one mock paper. Last 2-3 weeks, you need to do two mock papers every week. So that time I want from you. We are Nanaska. We are a small institute. We will try to ensure all of you all pass. We will do whatever it takes. We'll commit everything from our side to ensure you pass. We need your support by allocating time. We have a system to remind you for the things if you forget or if you are busy with some work, there'll be some reminders. So then we are pushing you to kind of not to forget that the exams are there. So let's work together. Let's work together. And let's work together. I'm sure we can get to ensure that all of you all pass the strategic level case study in February 2024 and say goodbye to SEMA. Right? Thank you for joining with us. We'll see you next week. You can always send me a WhatsApp message to me, and my number is as follows. So you will see my number on the screen now. You can send me a WhatsApp message. Thank you for joining. Please send an email to info@nanaska.com. Please send an email to info@nanaska.com so you can register quickly as well. You can register quickly as well. Right? Take care. Thank you, Sanda. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please be in touch. Send me a WhatsApp message on anything. Bye. Take care. Take care.